As you guys know, I have been on a nostalgia kick lately. I have just really been enjoying dabbling into some nostalgic themes, whether it's a nostalgic movie, TV show, cartoon, whatever it might be. I've been doing it and it's been so much fun. So we're going to keep going with that. Eventually the trend will break, but for now it's making me feel warm and fuzzy inside. And I know that you guys love the nostalgic builds. There's just something about them that just really warms the soul. So in today's video, I am going to be building tiny homes for different 2000s childhood cartoons. Now, the reason I'm going with 2000s is because that's a reflection of my childhood specifically. And there's just so many good ones, you guys. There's so many good ones. And I figured I can kind of wrap multiple into one because I've been getting a lot of requests for specific shows that people want to see. That's what we're going to be doing. Now, there are so many shows that I love from the 2000s. I mean, so many good ones. And in fact, I have done a Every Room is a Different 2000s TV show or 2000s cartoon. I did it like maybe 2 years ago. So if you want to go back on my channel and check it out, you're more than welcome to do that. The ones that I'm going to be doing today are going to include Rugrats, Codename Kids Next Door, Powerpuff Girls, and Courage the Cowardly Dog. Now, I'm pretty sure in my first cartoon build that I did include Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I did include Powerpuff Girls. I'm going to do it again because I think it will be fun to do it on like a larger scale. So with all of that being said, we're going to jump into it. But before we do, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, join the party. I've been getting a lot of new viewers lately and it's been amazing. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. And for those of you who are coming along for the ride and for the journey, I really appreciate it. And I love having you guys here. If you're into these types of builds, themed builds, nostalgic builds, this might be the place for you. Without further ado, let's get into this build. So if you're not familiar with some of the homes that I'm going to be building, most of them are very simple and very different. So it's going to be interesting to see the differences between them. But one in particular is going to be very challenging and I'm nervous about it. So I'm going to save that one for later because I can't deal right now. I may or may not be breaking this video into 2 parts because I had to take several days off for my trip. I'm way behind and I really don't want it to be too long before I get a video done. So it is possible that I'm going to be splitting this into 2 and doing the entire exterior in this video and the interior in my next video. It's Ariel from the future. Yes, this video is in fact going to be split into 2 parts. I kind of give you a little rundown of what's going on in my life later on in the video. Just got a lot going on. One part just was not going to work. So I hope you guys don't mind. Not my favorite thing to do, but sometimes it has to be done. Anyway, back to other Ariel. So we're going to go ahead and start with Rugrats, I think. So let me give you a little bit of a brief summary about Rugrats in case you are not familiar with it, and then we will get into the build. Rugrats, which aired from 1991 to 2004, is an iconic Nickelodeon animated series that follows the daily adventures of a group of toddlers, Tommy, Chucky, and the twins Phil and Lil, who transform mundane suburban life into grand imaginative journeys. This show was such a good one. I loved Rugrats growing up. I still love Rugrats. I think it's a perfect depiction of 2000s cartoons. So let me show you the house that I'm going to be building. Here it is, okay? Very typical suburban home. I think it's going to look so cute. That's gonna be the goal for this house. So let's get into the shell. Because all of these houses are sort of suburban style homes, I think we're just gonna have it on like a street with like some surrounding stuff to blend in with that exterior. I think that's gonna be how I do it. Okay, let's get started. All right, here is our basic shell. Let's pick a door and it looks like a very basic door. Yeah, let's just do that one. And then there is an overhang like this one and some concrete steps. Perfect. Now I need windows. Here's the shell so far. I think it looks pretty good, actually. It's pretty similar. That might look a little better. This is from, I think it's Backyard Stuff. I think I like this one a little better. I feel like that looks pretty good. Now I need some bushes surrounding the exterior. Let's just do these ones because they do remind me of these. I have had quite the day today. While I was filming just now, we got a call from the vet because we just had to take our dog to the vet because she has been throwing up, started not feeling good, and as a response to that, she decided to eat a bunch of rocks to induce more throwing up. So we went and took her to the vet today, and they called me as I was filming and were like, yeah, she's got like 30 to 40 more rocks in her stomach. We're gonna need to surgically remove them. So that's happening right now. So I figured I would just film a little bit until I have to leave. Maybe we'll just do this tree. I could make my own sandbox. It's not a big deal. So I'm gonna create a little room with this half wall. Yeah, like that. I'm gonna go ahead and use this sand flooring. And then I think we have some like sandy mounds. Yeah, I'm gonna use this to sort of fill in the remaining spaces. And then we can add some toys in there. Oh, perfect. We have a toy shovel. I'm gonna size it up and stick it here. Little bucket. Perfect. Okay, I want to add some things that might hint at some of the episodes in the show. I just think that would be kind of fun and cool. I want to find a wagon. Ooh, I want these hopscotch things. That is perfect for suburban family home. Okay, sorry, back to what I was doing. This is a cooler. I don't want a cooler. I want a wagon. That might be the closest thing. Maybe I'll size this down and this will be, pretend that there are little training wheels on this bike. Here's a slide. We can add some more toys in the backyard. I kind of just want them scattered around. And I'm going to make them kind of bigger because like from the baby's perspective, these things were huge. Oh my gosh. And then Cynthia, which is Angelica's doll. Let's also add like a little picnic table for family picnics. Do this basic picnic setup here. And then we also need a doghouse for Spike. Something like that. And then I usually take these overhang pieces and I add it on top. Just like that. We need some dog toys. Gonna grab these tennis balls, a couple dog bones buried around the yard. I'm gonna take those dirt mounds that we have and stick them like that. Now, another detail about Rugrats is that the father, Stu, likes to create a lot of inventions, most of which are failed inventions. So I want to scatter those around the yard as well. Let's do the bridge project. Okay. And then let's also grab the dinosaur toy as if it's destroying our city. Let's add some robots maybe. And I think I'm going to add a car here too. So I'm going to add this and I'm going to rotate it so it's not looking like that. Maybe I'll add like a little workbench or something over here and that'll be where he does some of his projects. Let's just add that workbench here. I think that's cute. It's little rockets, some tools. Okay, I switched up the fencing a little bit to make this backyard a little more blocked off. Suburban homes and their garden hoses. We'll add one on both sides of the house. For some seating, maybe we can add some of these plastic lawn chairs. Maybe I'll add these chairs over here. Let's add a couple of these like that, and we can just add some plants. And maybe we can grab some of these dirt piles and make it look like the dog has dug up some of the beds here. Let's do Cynthia hiding in the bushes. Maybe we'll add it over here. A couple of bottles. I think I'm basically done with the exterior of the Rugrats house. Here's the front yard. Here is Stu's little workstation where he does all of his failed experiments. I did add a little kiddie pool for them, this cardboard spaceship. Here is their sandbox, lots of toys laying around. I just wanted it to feel like a standard suburban home with some hints at different episodes. Got this little area over here, a picnic table, a dog house for, what's his name, Spike, and then just some other things. Maybe the dog has dug up the flower beds. With that, I am ready to move on to the exterior of my next one, which is going to be for the Powerpuff Girls. If you're not familiar with the Powerpuff Girls, it is an animated series about 3 superpowered kindergarteners, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, created by Professor Utonium using sugar, spice, and everything nice and Chemical X. Living in Townsville, they balance normal childhoods with fighting crime and saving the world before bedtime. In case you're not familiar with the look of the Powerpuff Girls house, this is what it looks like. It's very modern. I'm gonna do my best and hopefully it will turn out super duper cute. All right, let's start with our shell. All right, now we're gonna need some windows, and we need large rounded. They're actually like oval, but I don't think we have oval. Okay, that's probably our best bet. And then we're gonna need a red door. This one's not horrible. And then a garage door, just like that. A lot of the pictures I'm seeing like a blue slats on this side here. Oh no, I am not seeing blue, unfortunately. I'm so disappointed that they don't have blue. Let's do red to match the door then. Do a little patio here. Let's start adding in our trees, and it looks like we've got pink trees. Maybe these trees surrounding it. I like this. It matches the rest of my aesthetic here. I feel like these trees make sense for this build. I don't know, they just feel right. I want to start adding in some funky fun details that play into some of the aspects of the show and maybe some of specific episodes. So something that I want to have is like Chemical X sort of appearing around the house. So I want to add like a drain. Yes, like this storm drain here. Maybe we can add this over to this side. And I think I want to add some fun stuff. So maybe this green slime looking thing, and I want to grab some of those lights from Realm of Magic. I wish we had a green, but we don't. We really only have this blue, and I kind of want to add that near the drain. And then I also want to add some of these near the garage to signify Chemical X. I can add these near the garage. Perfect. Make that a little more visible. You see? Now you can see it a little better. Maybe we'll have some flower beds back here. This is just me kind of spitballing, okay? Trying to think of how I want this to be. We can have some of these cute flower beds here. It's just some normal plants. But then I also want to grab some of those funky mutated flowers from Strangerville. Or is it Get to Work? I actually don't remember. Strangerville. And add these in here that have been mutated by Chemical X. Kind of like this cute pink one. That is so funny. I don't think we have any like broken test tubes, but maybe we can add some of these shoved in these plant pots. Maybe we can add like a creepy like bubbling pond or something in the corner here. And we will add some of those bubbling steam things and a couple bubble cracks. And as a little nod to Mojo Jojo, what if I add the observatory kind of over here off to the side? Just add that right there. We have like a monkey statue. I think it's from Snowy Escape. Let's make this Mojo Jojo. Let's give them a swing set. I wanted to still feel like, you know, because obviously the dad cares a lot about his girls. So I want it to seem like a typical suburban home with a hint of something weird's going on here. Okay. Okay. We could do this cute yellow and blue one somewhere. I feel like they would also like hopscotch, similar to Rugrats. Oh, some bubbles would be cute. We should add a little picnic table for them as well. Maybe one like this. Let's just do that. And then I also want to add the bubble blower, I think. I don't know where to put it. Maybe over here. Can do some pillows for the girls. And let's get some toys, like some stuffed animals. Blossom, Bubbles. We don't have a green one for Buttercup, but we do have that. I will come back to the backyard. Let me add some details to make it look like they were fighting somewhere over here. So maybe we can add some cracks on the ground. And this... maybe add another one. Add some like scuff marks. Does that kind of look like a fight took place there? Okay, I went ahead and added this little like crater area. This is going to be where the fight happened. I want to find some things that look like they got destroyed during this battle. Oh, I like this robot arm. I'm going to cover that somehow. Oh yeah, this is perfect. Okay, trying to figure out my landscaping and my plans here. I added some like electronic robot parts, whatever the heck this is, in this little hole. Added some bananas, also a car pulling into the drive, and I just cleaned up some of the landscaping. My next thing is I want to add some little details for each of the girls in the backyard. So it's like a couple little areas for them. So the first one I'm going to start with is Blossom, and I'm going to give her a little reading corner over here. Let's do this cute little chair here. And then for a little table, let's do this cute flowery looking table. We're going to go ahead and add the open book clutter item from the Cozy Gamer kit right here. For a rug, we will do this little rug. And then let's give her a simple telescope right over here. And I'm going to add her book on her chair, a little coffee mug. For Buttercup, I think I want to add hers up here, maybe over back here. I want to give her a weight rack, and I also want to give her a punching dummy. I'll do one of these. I'm going to add this over here. Actually, let's do this modified training bot for Buttercup. We can add her weight rack over here. We can also grab a soccer ball, put that here, maybe a football. She's sporty. She's sort of rough and tumble. Maybe I can put a crack in the fence from being a little too rough in that area. Maybe we can add some of these origami things, paper airplanes. These are just some like things that they're having fun with. Let's add some of this scrap metal. Oh, what about this water balloon bucket? I feel like Buttercup would really enjoy a water balloon fight. Let's leave it at that for now. Let's go ahead and work on Bubbles' area, and I want to give her like an animal area. So let's do the butterfly garden. I think that makes sense for her. Maybe just right up against the wall here. This little bunny home. Maybe back here. Yeah, let's do this bird feeder over here. I want to give her a little tea party table over here too. I think that would be so cute for her. We can do this one. This is cute with some precious blue chairs. Yeah, let's add those. This tea set is really precious, and I think we've got a blue one. I finished this entire side for the most part. I may come back and make some changes, but here it is. Just added some additional landscaping. I gave the 3 of them bikes, which I thought was super cute. I finished up this little area for Mojo Jojo, and then I finished up Bubbles' little area with some more blue flowers. I added dolls for each of them, which I'll show you in a second. Here is the creepy pond. We have Buttercup's area here, and here is her creepy doll. And then we have Blossom's area and her little doll there. And that is it for my Powerpuff Girls exterior. I think it's cute. I think it works. And then in between, since these are both houses for like young children, I did add a park over here. So I just have some monkey bars. I have a little picnic blanket, a slide, and then this little like jungle gym thing. So with that, I am ready to move on to my next one, which is not going to be an easy one. So let's just get into it. Next up, we're going to be doing Codename Kids Next Door. This house is going to be a trip. Okay. If you're not familiar with Codename Kids Next Door, let me fill you in. I know that this one might not be as popular as Rugrats or Powerpuff Girls, but I still think it was very popular for the time. It is about a global secret organization of 10-year-olds who operate from high-tech tree houses to fight adult tyranny, bad rules like eating vegetables or going to bed early, and teen villains using improvised 2x4 technology. And if you're not familiar with what this house looks like, the reason I say this one's going to be a real treat, well, it's because this is what it looks like. What even is that? So if you can't tell what's going on here, there is a house on the bottom, and then the top is this extremely insane looking treehouse. How I'm going to accomplish this, you guys, don't ask me. I have no clue. We'll see what I can come up with, I guess, but okay. So I guess my starting point would be to build the base of the house, and I am going to put it in this back corner because it's going to be pretty tall. Okay, let's pick a red door, maybe this one. And then we need some pretty standard windows. Maybe I'll do these ones. And then there is a balcony, maybe that. Here's what I have so far. Added some landscaping down here. Can I add here with this on top? And then can I delete that? I think this could work. This is hard, you guys. I don't know how I'm doing this yet. There's gonna be a lot of trial and error, I'm sure. So I think I'm gonna start by trying this. If you don't know what I'm doing, that's okay. Neither do I. I think if I size this up again too, even, that could be good. This build is taking me way too long and I haven't even done the interiors yet. Here's what I have so far. It's not going to look like that, truly. Like, I'm gonna have elements of it. I think what would be good is if I scoot this house over a little bit. I grabbed these branches. These are from Enchanted by Nature. They're perfect for this type of build. I needed to work on this off camera because I was struggling to even get this even remotely close to where I want it. And, you know, it's not quite perfect, but it's gonna have to do. So here's what I did. Just added some random stuff kind of popping out of different areas. Had to add some bushes and like the treetop things that are in debug. Added this little stack thing up here. Also, I found these numbers in the gallery. They were created by Nessie Sim. In case you were wondering, they're numbers on the cross stitch things, and I thought they were perfect because all of the numbers on the actual house are like rounded. I think this looks good enough, you guys. The next thing that I want to do is work on the yard itself. I'm trying to figure out what types of things I want to add in the yard. So I think firstly I want to add like some invention areas. In this kids activities category, I know that we have some robotics stuff. I'll organize all of this stuff too. I have this over here. We have this volcano, this electricity thing. And let's add a table. We can add some of these crafts up here. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I added a table with a bunch of mismatched chairs for the 5 of them. Let's also add some fireworks. I feel like that would make sense for them. Okay. Something else that I want to add are like booby traps. Now, I know we don't really have a ton to work with here, so I'm going to have to figure something out. Maybe we do like a hole somewhere. We create a hole, and then what if we grab some of these like planks and leaves or something, try to disguise it as if there's not a hole there, but it's a trap. So maybe we can add some of these plants. That could be interesting. Okay, we've got one trap. We can add some crates. These might be like top secret crates. Got some interesting stuff in here. I think making like something funky for them would be interesting. So like maybe grabbing a slide or something. Okay, and then what about like an old car? Or what if we do like a platform and we add like a car or something super random up top? Okay, what about the water balloons? I think they need that. Like that. It's out of these signs from werewolves. Maybe we can add like a small table for them to eat at over here. I know that we have a table here, but I kind of want to have like a food table. What about just one of these? Just like that. We can add some like juice boxes or something. Oh, here's some pepper spray. And then we'll add bikes for our main characters. Okay. I've done some work. I did add some bikes. I tipped one of them over, added like this megaphone. And then in the backyard, I didn't do anything really crazy, just added some landscaping, some different like tools and stuff laying on the ground. Kind of started working on this middle section. Again, this is similar to like my Bratz build that I just recently did where I'm just doing like a neighborhood. I think I'm gonna wrap, oh, also, I didn't explain why I added this pond. I added this pond because this can be seen as like a booby trap, I guess. Like think about someone going to the pond not realizing that they can be eaten by sharks or piranhas or whatever. Let's go ahead and move on to our final house, and I'll add more details later if I think it's necessary, but let's go ahead and work on Courage the Cowardly Dog. Let me tell you a little bit about it, and then we will get into the build. It is about a perpetually frightened pink dog who lives in an isolated Kansas farmhouse with his owners Muriel and Eustace. Despite his fears, Courage routinely overcomes his cowardice to defend his elderly, unknowing family from supernatural terrors, paranormal entities, and bizarre villains that constantly threaten their home. Let me just say this. Courage the Cowardly Dog was one of my favorite cartoons growing up and still is. I love this show. I know that this show is like super kind of spooky and creepy, but I think that's what I loved about it. I feel like it was so kind of edgy for like a children's show. I don't know. I loved it. This is the house that they live in. It's in the middle of nowhere. So it's going to be a pretty barren lot, but I do want to add some different touches from some of the episodes. Let's work on the shell and then I'll break down kind of what I'm thinking for this lot. Let's pick a front door, and the front door is actually a green color. So we'll go ahead and go with that. I think I want a window that's slightly smaller and kind of like off center a little bit. I actually don't think that's too bad. Next up, I need a windmill. Okay, wait, so this is the base to it. I need the actual blade part. I want to use this blade. Yes. My next thing is I want to change the terrain paint to a more desert landscape. And the path is going to be a dirt road, actually. Now, of course, we need Eustace's truck just right out front like that. I also see that on the side of the house, there is a barrel. We'll just do this one. And then there's a wheel. I guess it could kind of be this. And then I want a rocking chair on the porch, just like that. Okay, added this wooden fencing around the house and a little mailbox. Now, the landscaping is going to be desert-y, and then I want to add a sign. Yeah. I don't know exactly where I'm putting this, but maybe here, and then I move my mailbox. I want like a section for Muriel, and I want a section for Eustace. For Muriel's section, let's give her some gardening things like this. Just like that. Okay. Let's give her, again, another rocking chair. Can give her this one with a small table next to it with some tea on it. This one is fine. Let's give her a chicken coop, just like this. Yeah, let's add this clothesline. And then for Eustace, he can have a little bit of a junkyard. I think I'm going to scoot his truck over so I can move my fencing over a little bit. Some scrap wood. Let's do this broken down truck. Oh yeah, a tractor. Let's add it in the front yard, I think. Tires. And then what about that broken down TV? Okay. So let me be clear. I know that in the actual show, there is literally nothing surrounding the house besides the truck. I know that, but for the sake of the build, I want there to be more than just that. Otherwise, it's going to be incredibly boring to me. So I'm taking my own creative liberties here, still keeping with the theme, but I want it to be more than just that. Guys, I am so sorry about how long this is taking me to do. This has been a week of change and a week of craziness. I just have not had time to sit down and film, but I promise that is changing very soon. I'm super excited. I'm not going to say anything yet, but I've got some really exciting things coming up and I'm going to have a lot more time to film in the very near future. So let me show you what I did. I did some stuff off camera just so I can get some stuff rolling. It just is faster for me to do it that way sometimes. So I think I finished the sort of center area, just added some more signage, some more like sidewalk decor, added a little bus stop. I also added this light pole tipped over that's supposed to be part of like the scene here. When it comes to Courage the Cowardly Dog, this is what I've done so far. I finished up Eustace's little like junkyard area. And then here we have a small space for like Muriel with some chickens. We've got a little tea area, her rocking chair with some knitting bags and cross stitching, her garden. So that is that. And then I wanted over on this side to add some little pops of like some of the episodes. So one of the things that I wanted to add was a UFO. So I'm going to add this UFO because I think that's perfect for Courage the Cowardly Dog. Kind of like this broken down plane. I'm gonna add a scarecrow, just some random things, maybe some graves. We've got some bones that I can add near some of the graves. I kind of like that. Let's add this creepy guy. I think it might be good to also add a shed. I completely forgot about that. It's gonna be small though. I don't need anything big. Just something like that. Let's grab this wallpaper and we can do, or I can do this like rusted metal roof paint. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. I think that's gonna do it for my Courage the Cowardly Dog exterior. Now I need to address this section, but I think that's okay. That way the pond is kind of in the right spot, I guess. I want all of the common areas to be very like kid friendly. Maybe we can add a rundown basketball court, perhaps. I don't want it to be like massive. And we can add some cracks and stuff in it. Okay, I added this wall back here because I also really want to add some graffiti. We'll add some cracks in the wall also. Some graffiti there. Oh yeah, I like this rusted bike. Maybe we can add a picnic table. This one from Adventure Awaits. Let's add more of these signs. We can add another creepy swing set, something like that, I guess. Let's add some different like gadgets on here. For a hint at Codename Kids Next Door, let's add a little robot over here too. Some marbles. All right, I finished up this park area. I wanted both sections to be parks, just a little bit of a different vibe. This is like the nicer part of the neighborhood. This is the little more rundown part of the neighborhood. And I think that that's kind of a fun juxtaposition. I'm not smart, you guys. Okay, so this is the picnic table I added some trash and some toys. We've got the rundown bikes, a swing set, and that is going to be completely it for this exterior. Now, I know that this whole part is not super exciting, but again, I just wanted it to resemble a neighborhood. I didn't want it to be anything too crazy. So that's what I did. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I had a lot of fun doing this one. And I think that all of them turned out exactly as I wanted them to. Now, the Codename Kids Next Door one was really challenging, but I think I got the point across. It's not perfect, but it looks pretty good considering that I did that in The Sims. So that's my 2 cents. Of course, I took a lot of creative liberties here, added my own little flares to each of them, but I think they turned out so much fun. This is the first part. Hopefully I should have the second part up relatively quickly since I don't have to do the exteriors, but we will see what life throws at me within the next 2 weeks. Hopefully I can get it done quickly. But again, as I mentioned, things are going to change here very soon, and I'm gonna have a lot more time to film once that change actually happens. So stay tuned for that. With all that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate all of your support. You guys are all so amazing, and reading your guys' comments truly brings me so much joy. I may not always reply to every single one of them just because I really do have so much happening, but I do always read them, and just know I really appreciate you guys and all of your kind words. It makes spending this much time on these builds so worth it. And you guys are amazing. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. And I will see you guys in my next one. All right. Bye.